Katrina and Sam, both of your characters age 20 years in the course of the season, of course. Can you talk to us about how you approached that as actors and what that means for your characters as you're moving forward?
They age very well.
Yeah, you guys age very well, by the way.
In fact, with younger.
Didn't we just go method and just get old?
I think we did.
It's all that whiskey drinking. Yeah. You know, I think, you know, obviously there was a little bit at the end of season 2 about, well, Claire had sort of, we'd already seen her in the 60s, but when we come to season 3, you're going to see a lot of that progression. It starts with a little bit in the 40s, some 50s, 60s, and I think it was just trying to figure out what her life was like and figure out what the day-to-day is, because we really only see little vignettes of different times, and you have to try and build that whole lifetime to give it all as much, you know, as much weight as possible. But you know, we have an incredible hair and makeup team. We had some good wigs. Some of it was my own. There was a lot of hairspray.
Your beard wig is particularly.
My beard wig was awesome. But yeah, you know, it was one of the interesting challenges about this season. It was really interesting to try and figure out how does time weigh on a person? What changes about you? What do you retain? How does tragedy weigh on you? How do you live with grief? How do you forge forward in a new life? So all of those things were really, there were interesting challenges to come to as an actor.
Absolutely. Sam, for you too?
Yeah, I think, you know, we have been very fortunate to get to know these characters over 2 seasons. It feels like such a long time ago that we started. I was on the plane yesterday coming here, and there was a woman watching season 1, episode 2, and I was the boy Thomas with the ear, and I was like, oh, it just feels like such a long time ago, and actually a different person. And you know, we've come so far, and so this season really, we got to really sort of stretch the character and go somewhere else with them, and you know who they are after 20 years apart, and that aging process. And I think it was more about the experiences rather than the aging. You know, it's more about what happens to them, and certainly for both of our characters, you know, a lot happens.
And I know we are. Everyone will murder me if I don't ask you about this print shop scene.
As Ron said, it didn't make the cut.
So excited about it. You're like, I have no idea what scene you're talking about. Just tell me quickly, I mean, what was that experience? I mean, there's so much you have to bring into that one moment. Did you find that challenging? Did it come off easier than you thought?
Challenging.
Well, I think, you know, first of all, we had a great script from Matt B. Roberts, and you know, I think that with any of these moments, you know that they're big fan moments. You know that they're big pivotal points in the scene. So in a way, you almost, it's this tug of war, because you don't want to give it more credence than you ever give anything else, because every scene's important. And so you just want to approach it as you would approach everything else. But obviously, it's a huge moment for for Claire and for Jamie to sort of find each other again. I mean, that's the big thing, you know.
Yeah, we were apart for a lot of this season, not to give away too much, but we're apart, and so the characters have their own lives, and ultimately go through, you know, all the sort of emotions of grief and acceptance, ultimately, of losing someone that they love, and then for that person to come back into your life, it was, you know.
It'd almost knock a man out.
It would almost make a man faint. Gracefully.
Yeah, a little hotter.
Like a gazelle.
Well, we literally cannot wait for this scene. It is, we're all excited. So, okay.